So, this is the first time I'm checking in with you guys in a little while. It's been a hot minute. I have not been able to sit down and record. So, I read a ton of books over the weekend. I say a ton of pages over the weekend. I read Muse of Nightmares, and it was fantastic. Everything that I wanted it to be. Just so good. I'm still working on icons. I have not got very far with that. Other things distracted me. I also got the notification that spoiler alert was available from my library, so I read that. Oh my gosh, guys. If you read fan fiction, if you are part of a fandom that you partake in the fan fiction of the fandom, if you use Discord on a regular basis, I highly recommend this book because I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was brilliant. I could not think of a better, it was like a fan fiction of fandom. It was amazing. I absolutely loved it. And everything about it was so correct in the way that many people approach fandom and fan fiction, and I just absolutely adored it, and I have my whole Discord server reading it. So there's that. I am also working on a Pop Sugar Challenge for Ace of Shades. I'm working on that book. I'm about 35% into that. So far it's okay. I did pick this book up because I was thinking if I liked this one, I might like Jade City. It's okay, so I don't know if I will invest in Jade City or not. We'll see. My other Discord server is harping on me to pick up the next Dresden book, so I might start that if I finish Ace of Shades. And then I still have The Young World and a couple of other books to read for my TBR 10. I still have Valor. Need to get to that one. But yeah, I've had a pretty excellent reading weekend, so I will update you guys whenever I get further in my reading. And I need a haircut, real bad. It's supposed to be shaved, and it's not shaved no more. All right, have a good one. Okay, hi guys. I have somewhat of an update for you. Today I had to go adult, and because I was out and already venturing into the world, my son had an eye doctor's appointment, so I went book shopping. And I'm super excited because I got 5 books that I've been wanting for a while. The Archive of the Forgotten by A.J. Hackwith. This is the follow-up to the Library of the Unwritten, which you know I loved. Super excited. I got Benti. This is on my Pop Sugar Challenge, and again, super pumped for this one. I am a little sad I couldn't find the other cover, but you know, it is what it is. And then a book that I've been meaning to read for quite some time, Eden by Tim Leben. I was going to read this last year, just never got around to it. Never got around to picking it up. So I have it now. Yay! Also Pop Sugar Challenge. And then
another one on my Pop Sugar Challenge that I'm super pumped for, Cersei! And I'm excited to get into Madeline Miller's writing. And last but not least, ooh, about dropped it and my phone. Horrid by Katrina Leno. I'm very excited about this. This is young adult, but it is gothic horror, so I'm super excited to see what Katrina Leno does with, you know, the gothic horror and young adult. Yeah, that's basically the only update I have for you because I haven't been able to read today. And I will either update you guys again tonight or see you again in the next video or update. Bye. Oh, hello. So, this is gonna be more of a life update than a reading update because I have had horrible insomnia this week. Not really sure why. My brain just won't shut off. And I've been playing catch up on sleep and not quite successful at any of that. Like, it's just been a real pain. So, while I got a lot of reading done over the weekend, I have not been able to read anything. My brain is just dead. And not only has my brain been dead, my son's birthday was Saturday, so I didn't get to record any videos and didn't even get to do my wrap up. So I'll be doing that as soon as I possibly can, but I'm not sure when that will be. So today I'm going to, update for Pop Sugar. I have not been enjoying the books that I've picked for the actual challenge in the video that I did. Ace of Shades, it was boring. Like I wasn't enjoying it at all. I ended up DNFing it, but I did find something to fit the prompt of Diamond Heart Spade Club on the cover, and I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer, which is a prequel to Alice in Wonderland for the Queen of Hearts. And it was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. I gave it like a 4-star. And I was actually pleasantly surprised how much I enjoyed that book. But that is all I have been able to consume. Listening to it or reading it, like, that has been it. And I'm still tired, guys. Like, you can probably tell, like, my brain is just done. So today I'm going to try to read Icons. I do have House of Velvet and Glass still, 77 Shadow Street. I still have those two that I need to read, and then The Young World. Not a whole lot of time to finish them. And then, of course, we have the one I have been kind of putting off, but only because, like, I just want to savor it. And that would be Valor, John Gwynne. But I am going to start that today, hopefully. Hopefully my brain allows for that. And we'll see when I get through. If I don't read The Young World, I'm probably going to end up removing that from my TBR and, taking it to a local buy-sell trade because I've had it for forever, and even with this, like, it hasn't been one that I've been like, I need to get to that one. But if I don't get to the other two, the House of Velvet and Glass and 77 Shadow Street, I'll push them to the February TBR 10 because I do still want to read those. Those are ones that, even though I haven't like grabbed for them this time, it's only because I haven't been able to read Icons yet. So that's the update. I'm sorry I'm like low energy and probably pretty boring right now, but oh man, insomnia has kicked my butt. All right, I will see you guys when I am able to do my wrap up. Bye.
All right, so let's have a very frank discussion for just a minute before I get into my wrap up, because you guys are waiting for 2 weeks of worth of wrap up, and I have not a lot to share with you. The reason for that being, I don't know if you guys have anybody in your life with ADHD or dyslexia, but let me tell you a little bit of what I experienced over this last week. So, because I have both of these issues, they have some overlap whenever I want to read. And I had a horrible, horrible week with insomnia. Well, part of that is because I can't get my brain to shut down, and that will have dire effects on my dyslexia, and it will cause me to not be able to actually physically read. It sucks. It's something I have dealt with for a long time, so I'm quite used to it. But when I'm trying to bring you guys content that I have promised you, one of the things that's really frustrating is when I create like a TBR 10, because that's what you guys are here for, and then I can't find the books that I need to be reading on like Audible or the library or Scribd or Libby, however that goes. But it just makes it impossible for me to read. And I want to talk about one specific book because you guys know how much I absolutely loved Malice. So I started Valor. I got 223 pages into it. I can't tell you what happened. Like, I don't know what happened for those 223 pages. My brain did not retain the information. Now, this one I do have on audio, and I was trying to listen to it and follow along, but because of the way that my brain works when my issues start to rear their head, is I can read something, and if it's complex, my brain's like, nope, we're not going to process that because it's too much for us right now. And like, I have no idea what has happened, and I'm 223 pages into it. So, like, here we are. So I'm actually going to push it to my February TBR. I have got my sleep a little bit more under control. As you can probably tell, I'm awake, I have makeup on, all that good stuff. But that also meant that I didn't tackle anything else on my TBR because I had the same issues with just about everything. And now if I had found like Icons or The Young World in audio format, I probably could have got through those. But because the other ones weren't even available on audio format, I didn't attempt it. So what I did was I found some audiobooks to listen to. And those will be what I will be talking about. I will go through my TBR 10 with you guys. You're not missing out on anything there. We'll talk about the things that I'm going to be doing moving forward. And so, again, I am going to be keeping Valor and pushing it to my February TBR. I love these books, guys. I don't want you to think that I don't love these books, but sometimes when things are this dense, I have a really hard time processing it when all of my issues start to rear their heads. And like I said, over 200 pages, and I have no idea what happened. Like, zero clue. So I'll be reading this one again in February. The Young World. I had no desire to pick this up. So I'm actually going to remove it from my TBR and take it back to my buy sell trade and, you know, find something else that I would like to read. Icons. As you can see, I didn't get very far. The first day that I said I was going to read it, that was the day that I started. And then I just couldn't pick it up again. And that same issues that I was having with Valor, I couldn't read it. Like, my brain was not processing the words on the page. And so I couldn't find an audiobook for it. I'm also going to just move this to my February TBR. 77 Shadow Street. Couldn't find the audiobook. Moving it to my February TBR. House of Velvet and Glass. Couldn't find the audiobook. Moving it to my February TBR. So, there are 4 books that I will continue on with in February for my TBR. I'm not going to just give them away because I didn't read them this time, because I had so many issues this last week that I couldn't read anything. And I did end up reading some the weekend before all of my issues kicked in. And then I did end up listening to quite a few audiobooks. So I did get some reading done, just not physical reading. No physical books for your girl. Off of the TBR 10, I did finish Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. It was fantastic. Her writing is just so flowy, flowery, gorgeous. Ugh, love it, love it. I love the way it wrapped up. I think this was a great conclusion to Strange the Dreamer. I don't know like what all to say about it, because it was just so beautiful, so beautiful. And we follow Laszlo, as you know. I don't want to give spoilers, because if you haven't read Strange the Dreamer, I don't want to spoil Strange the Dreamer to talk about this one. But just know that if you liked Strange the Dreamer, you're going to love Muse of Nightmares. It is so good. I think I gave it a 4.5 star. Oh, and the Goodreads rating was a 4.46. So I agree. It's great. Pick it up. Strange the Dreamer, Muse of Nightmares, Laini Taylor. Fantastic. But that was the only book on my TBR 10 that I actually got around to. So, I mean, I got through half of it, even after, you know, having the issues that I had. So I'm counting it as a win. And then I listened to Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. So if you guys like fantasy, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I don't care what this is marketed as. Like, if it's marketed as young adult, it's good. It's really, really good. The whole story, the writing is gorgeous. Like, it's fantastic. I don't know why an adult fantasy reader would not like this book. It's so good. This is also the one that I got the duplicate buy for Christmas. And so I was like, you know, my TBR is kind of out the door. Let's go ahead and read it. I think I'm going to enjoy it. And boy, howdy, did I. I ended up giving it 4 stars. But it was a very high 4 stars. Like, a few more points and this would have racked itself up to a 5 star. But this is about a girl named Elizabeth who, like, her sole job is to care for grimoires. And she ends up in a very dark situation where she is kind of this scholarly woman, and I say woman, she's young, but she's a scholar, and they are taught that magicians, those of the magical folk, they are evil. And she ends up encountering one of these people and finds out that that person is not evil and that things are going on in her world that are very backwards and very corrupt. And her friend and their friend, I don't want to spoil things, end up taking on the corruption in the world. And this is like, I like really dark things whenever I start reading fantasy, and this is not that, but it's so good. I don't want to say it's wholesome, but almost wholesome. And the characters are so good. So good. I really found myself just wanting to continue listening to it. I think I finished it in like a 24-hour period. So I loved it. I loved this book, and I would recommend it again. I keep trying to like make it stop glaring at you guys, but I again would recommend this to any fantasy reader, and it's a standalone. So if you're looking for a standalone fantasy that is just sweet, here you go. So for the rest of the books that I read spoiler alert, and this was for my Pop Sugar Challenge, and it was a book that reminded me of my favorite person, and I chose my Discord group for Horizon Zero Dawn fan fiction because we are all fan fiction authors. And so spoiler alert, you guys, this book was absolutely perfect. And when I say perfect, I mean perfect for us. So I read it, and then I got onto the Discord and was like, guys, you have to read this book because it's us. And so there's like 5 or 6 of us, and all of them read it. All of them agreed with me. But if you love fandom culture, if you love fan fiction, if you like older people being part of fandom and fan fiction, I definitely recommend this book because it was so funny, so heartwarming. There were some traumatizing moments too, but like, it's so good. Pardon. Okay, but there's body positivity. There is being fandom at an older age. This book was perfect for me, for what I needed in 2021, post 2020. Like, it just checked all the boxes, rang all the bells. Amazing. And like I said, highly recommend it to people who really love being a part of fandom as an older person, 36. I think that you guys would enjoy it. And then next, I read the next book in the Murderbot Diaries. I told you I was going to try and blow through these this year. Rogue Protocol. It was great. These are very, very short stories, so I don't like getting into them because, I don't want to spoil the 180 pages that is there. But Murderbot is a AI type of robot who is supposed to be a security droid who is supposed to protect humans when they go on like large excavations. And something happens and he doesn't have to follow the rules. And all he wants to do is sit around and watch soap operas, but he knows he's got to protect the humans even though he don't like them. And that is essentially the Murderbot Diaries. Okay, and then I was reading Ace of Shades for the Pop Sugar Challenge of Heart, Diamond, Spade Club in the picture of the book, the cover. And I didn't like it. I don't know what I didn't like about it other than I was bored. And I couldn't get into it. I didn't like the characters all that much. And so I moved on. I just went ahead, DNF'd that one, and moved on. And I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and I absolutely loved it. It was so cute, so fun, and I really liked seeing the story leading up to the queen going mad. And it's dark, yes, because we are talking about the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, so she had to go crazy somehow, right? But it was so fun. And, that's the main word that I can find to describe Marissa Meyer's works, is they are fun. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And last, but certainly not least, today I read A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. And guys, guess what? I kind of loved it. So the very beginning of it, I was so annoyed with this character. Elle drove me absolutely insane. I wanted to smack her. And I got online and started talking to a few friends and was like, come on, you really liked this book? Like, really? 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 And they were like, yes, just keep going, keep going. I know that there are so many tropes in the beginning of this that you're going to hate, but keep going because it gets really good. And I was like, but the only thing saving this book is her relationship with Orion. And they were like, keep going. And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm not going to say that this is like a romance, because no, it is not. But the friendship that her and Orion have is just absolutely wonderful and so fun to watch progress. And I really liked hearing her tell her backstory, because this is first person, so this is all in Elle's head, which is probably why I was like, oh, this is annoying me. But I wasn't into it at first, and there's a lot of explaining and a lot of Elle explaining to you as the reader what's going on, and I'm like, this is really just irritating. Like, it really just is irritating. But I pushed through. I didn't DNF. Yay me. And it was pretty fantastic. Like, I really, really enjoyed the last 100 pages of this book so much. And Naomi Novik might have won me over with this book. I know a lot of people don't like it, and let me be the first to tell you, the representation in this book is quite horrible. Don't go into this thinking that there's good representation in this book, because there are people of color in the book, because that is not the case. And if you are easily offended by things said about people of color, or, because it's not overtly racist, and it's not like, the things that are said are things that a teenager would offhandedly say at any given time without thinking about what they've actually said. The fact that it was not a teenager that wrote that in is sketchy, but there wasn't a big moment where I was like, oh no, girl. Like, oh no. But do know that this is a criticism of A Deadly Education if you want to pick it up. And the biggest form of racism that is in this is against Arab people. So be aware of that too. But that is it for my TBR 10 and 2-week weekly roundup, because I didn't read books for about a week. Suck it. Okay, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will probably be February's TBR 10. Bye!